Right guys, welcome back to the DB Dailies vlog. We're doing it a slight bit different today, so I'm going to try and move around with the camera. So I'm down here today with Barry Breen and his stunning polo, right? We're going to have a little chat about the polo, different parts, where he got parts from, what shows he wanted to go to, and the build process he went through to get it to how stunning it is today.
You're looking so good, you're looking so good, so good, so good.
Okay, so instead of looking at my ugly face today, we're going to look at Barry and we're going to look at his stunning polo that he has behind him. So I'm going to go behind the camera. So Barry, we're looking at the polo here, right? And it's absolutely amazing. How long have you had the car altogether?
I think it's in the 5th of April. I'll have it 6 years. So
6 years.
6 years on the 5th of April. Because
Yeah.
I only went back and looked through the messages to find how long I had it.
Yes, yeah.
God knows.
And tell me this then, Barry, so has the build process been a long 6 years, or has it been in a way that you jumped in between it and jumped in and out of it?
Sure, I was only a chap, going into it, and I said, I put coilovers in a car before, grand, and I said, I go at it. Sure, God no, I did not know what I'd have in front of me,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Sure, I put suspension in it, new brakes, braided brake lines. Back then, probably put $2,000 into it, just stuff like that, and I just sat there and I had no intentions of it, and I had other cars, and I actually had to sell the Jetta that I had to put the priority on that.
So we're going to get a picture of Barry's Jetta up here someplace as well. Absolutely unbelievable car as well, yeah.
So I actually had to sell that because I knew I wasn't going to get it done only for that, and then COVID came, and I'd say, as bad as COVID was, it wouldn't be done if only for it, and I'm sure that can go for a lot of other cars.
Yeah. Okay, so Barry, we're looking at the car here, right? And we're looking at, I suppose, every Volkswagen headed know anyway that it's small details and small parts and stuff that get the car to be where it is today, right? So a big transformation. You've actually done a colour change on the car.
Yeah.
And tell me this then, so what colour, or what is there a name on the colour that you have?
Oceanic green. That's the colour name of it.
Yeah.
It's 9X or something, I don't know what the colour is.
I can tell you, Pat, it is absolutely popping. It's probably, I'm trying to pick all this up on a GoPro, so it's not going to look as good as it is, but for anyone going to Dub Shed this year, she should be up at Dub Shed this year.
Should be front and centre,
Front and centre in Dub Shed. So you got the car painted by a local guy?
Yeah, Robbie Rowe is his name.
Robbie Rowe,
the best painter I know. I couldn't recommend him anymore.
And he's also done cars. Jack Davitt has a Porsche as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done Gary Dunn's Bento. He had, Jack used to have a Seat Leon.
Yeah.
The Leon has passed away in recent years, but he painted that. It was bright orange. And he also painted my Jetta, so he's a list of cars now that he's done, and he's trophies to show them.
Well, fantastic, yeah. And this is what I'm trying to move around here, because I'm trying to get even the shine off the bonnet and stuff here is absolutely unbelievable. So Barry, everyone has their car, right? And this is one of your favourite cars now today. We call it out of everything you've had. What on the car are your favourite parts of this car in particular? We call it top two.
Yeah, I'd say either the wheels or paint. The paint is probably, I put more work into the paint than anything.
Yeah. And tell me this then, Barry, for wheel nerds out there then, what wheels are we looking at? Or
they're a genuine set of BBS RM002s, so they'd be original Mark II Golf GTI wheel.
Okay, so that's for all the wheel nerds out there. And tell me this then, Barry, right? We'll go even further, right, for wheel nerds, because it's something I know that I enjoy. What fitment and specs are on them as well?
Because it's obviously a small little car. They're 6.5 ET33 as far as I know. 15s. Yeah,
that's cool. That's no problem. Yeah. See, these are all the little weird things that car heads get into in Ireland, is looking at all the finer details. So look, Barry, I'm going to ask you now as well, right? Finer details are a big one, right? And I know with the Volkswagen cars as well in particular, is that parts can be quite hard to come by, and sometimes people make their own parts, and sometimes they get parts and adapt them to fit cars and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So as far as this car goes in particular, what are parts on it maybe that you had to adapt or were hard come by or are rarer parts to get maybe?
Yeah, like the mirrors, they're early formal, basically a derby mirror.
Yeah.
A more sought after mirror. They came from Germany. The likes of the front eyebrow here, it's a cami eyebrow, so that came from Germany also. They're getting fairly rare, hard to get now.
Yeah.
A part that would have been 20, 30 quid back in the day, now they're impossible to get, so they're gone to 150, 200 quid like.
Yeah, and like that you have to get them in from Germany as well, is it?
You can't get them here.
And I know the seats are another one, Barry, isn't it?
Seats are a set of Genesis seats. They're manky now at the minute, but
Okay, well I want to show off your dirty seats.
yeah. But all different little things. The Fisher ski box, the tape deck there, the dash you'll see. That's another part from Germany. It's a rare part.
Even the gear knob there I'm looking at as well.
Another cami eyepiece.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely a big thing in the Volkswagen world, I suppose, is all these little tiny details that came on different models and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, like even I'm very particular. Well, I have been in the last recent years, and that I want everything. All the lights are hella. They're all stamped genuine hella lights. So everything down to polishing the lights, while obviously the car was a paint, I had loads of time, I painted wipers, down absolutely everything, everything has to be.
And I can tell you, Barry, like even when I walked into the shed here and seen the car, the fact that the lights themselves like that were absolutely popping, like, you know what I mean? And the colour is amazing, but the fact then that you've got your badges and stuff, like their wiper, even the arms of the wipers, they're just done perfect. Everything is popping off the darker colour, like, isn't it? And the contrast between the silver and chrome wheels, we'll call it, up into the darker paint is fantastic. Big one that caught my mind.
The louvers.
The louvers here.
Venetian blinds, as everyone calls them.
Privacy blinds.
Yeah, I was actually driving past the place and they had Venetian blinds on the front windows of the shop, and I said, "Oh Jesus, they nearly fit in my car."
Yeah. So Barry, tell me this: what did they are obviously of a car, they're not from a blind shop, right?
They're out of a Mark 1 Golf. It was actually, I can't think of his name now. I met a fella in Bray one day. He bought 2 sets by accident for his Mark 1, and it was an immaculate baby blue Mark 1 Golf. Yeah. And he bought 2 sets and ended up with a spare, so I bought them. They just happened to fit.
I know we're getting a lot of glare here, right? But I tell you one thing, pal, I like it. I don't. It's just something different, like, isn't it? It's something that pops, like, isn't it?
It puts a bit more colour into it. It's another aspect of the car.
Oh jeez, man, yeah, 100%. It's absolutely fantastic, and I do like Volkswagens in general. How they do things, like they do have their chrome badges, chrome lips, and I know like the door handles here have your little bit of chrome on them, like. It's all these little pieces, all these little pieces to the jigsaw puzzle, I suppose, isn't it? That make it what it is. Like, I know Ian has the caddy as well, and he's got the chrome strip down the side of the caddy. And little things pop, don't they? Really?
Yeah. Little things like that. Now, this isn't too old of a car, but you'd notice something like a Mark 1 or something strange. Now, I think next I want to get something oddball, completely oddball.
Yeah.
I'm dreading it because get parts for this is hard enough. I can't imagine something from the 70s, like. Yeah,
and tell me this then, Barry, right? As far as parts go, we were talking about there, right? Is it Ireland, England, or where in the world do you find? Have you had an experience of finding parts for a car?
Basically, wherever you can get them, like stuff like coolant hoses. Obviously, I've been in with polos for 6 years. I know a few lads that.
Yeah.
Same as me. I have 3 of them. So if it's coolant hoses or wiring looms, I most likely already have it. But the likes of rare parts like the mirrors or the grills or the Fisher seat box, they're all German. They're all out of Germany. You're not going to find them. And as well with the likes of Brexit and stuff, I've just given up on England. Like, you just can't get parts in England.
I've known myself there, Barry, like even lads, like every car scene in Ireland, like there's companies out there that like their companies are really going to go bankrupt, like, because by the time you pay for postage by the time you pay for the product itself and then pay the customs then to get it passed, you know, into the country, like, it just makes it unattainable, really, doesn't it? Like,
look, it's silly, but growing up in a transport background, like it's always been like England. Not now, they're not our sister company, our sister country, but
yeah.
like if you can't get in Ireland, you go to England, and now that's suddenly unobtainable. Like
Yeah, for
just
sure it is,
have to
no.
bypass and either go to Germany or wherever. Like those blue BBS caps, they came from New Zealand. New Zealand, like
Yeah.
fucking €230 for a set of BBS caps.
But it's all the little things, though, isn't it?
As
100%.
people won't understand, like people look at those wheels and they'll think that they're the same as a €500 set of lenses.
Yeah.
But they're obviously a lot more than that now.
Yeah. Okay, so Larry, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the camera here, right? And we're going to open up the bonnet and we're going to have a little chat then about what's underneath the engine bay. Is that alright?
Grand.
So Barry, we've got the engine bay open here, right? And to every part of the car, I suppose, we've the interior, we've exterior, and then we've our engine bay here or whatever, right? So Barry, have we got running underneath the bonnet, or what kind of work have you got done?
It's not the original engine, it's a 1.3 GT, so polo terms, it's a polo GT engine.
Yeah.
And 5-speed box. There's a few, it's actually running carbs. That engine would have originally ran injection.
Yeah.
But I decided I didn't want that, so yeah, it was a lot of work. The engine's fully rebuilt, so it's basically a 0-mile car at the minute. Like
Fantastic, yeah. So if she
she
ran for 40 years beforehand, she should have another 40 in it again.
yeah, basically you'd hope so. It's not looking great underneath the bonnet now. I'm hoping over winter I'll be able to clean it up, get the extra bits done, and knowing me, I'll probably pull the engine and paint the bay again, like you would know.
But even Barry, look, as we're looking at here, right, you can see that you've done a bit of a wire tuck here, getting rid of some of your loom up out of the way, right?
Yeah.
And it's lovely to have the two arms nice and cleaned off.
Yeah.
You've after obviously spraying your engine bay and all as well, like, you know what I mean? It's all them little tricks, isn't it?
Well, like originally there was all tabs down here. I grinded all them off, and any brackets or anything that was there, it's all smoothened. So it's clean as can be. It obviously needs a good clean now,
But look at, like, we're talking about little minor details there, really, about cleaning things. Like you're talking about the valve cover earlier on, like, but a small lick of paint like that in an afternoon, like, has that done? You know what I mean? Like, there are only little small things to do. But as far as the engine and running gear going, right, did you have to get a donor car, or what way did you go about it?
Yeah, well, me doing it, obviously if you go through forums or Facebook pages, they all tell you, oh, it's a straight fit, everything's the same, mounts, everything's the same. No, it's not. But the thing is, you don't realise that until you're there, like. So I actually managed, like, obviously you can put a 4-speed box back in, but it's not ideal. So I got the 5-speed GT box to match that. And then realised the mounts didn't fit. Like, I had to get a 5-speed mount. And being in the situation we're in, they're not easy to get, like.
No.
Because most of them were 4-speed, most of them are 1 litre 4-speed. So to find a 5-speed GT gearbox mount it's
hard to get.
Very difficult.
But this is another aspect, right? That we were talking about the vlog, and we're talking about the Irish car scene, and we're talking about how things work and stuff as well. Is that because Barry has done a conversion like this? Now, I'm not telling everyone to go off and do this because it's going to be a pain in your hole to do it. But to reach out to people like Barry, and to reach out to people like that we've had on the vlog before, and ask questions, because you've gone off, you've done a lot of research, right, to try and make sure that something like this can happen, right? But to save people the hassle, and you know, you've got all the knowledge now, and you've spent hours and hours, I'm sure, reading up on this and reading up on certain things, like, to reach out to people and talk, because the Irish car community is quite a friendly one, to be fair, isn't it? Like,
yeah, well, as I said, I wouldn't know anything, only for people that I've reached out to, and I've branched out to ask questions, because, like, no one knows everything about everything. But there's people that specify in other cars. So just say, I could know every single bolt, if you ask me how to take that back axle, I'll tell you exactly where that back axle, every bolt is in it. But if you ask me how to do that in an S14,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah, of
never
course,
done
of course.
one,
Yeah,
like,
everyone has their own taste.
it's the
100%.
same. But yeah, like I've took my time, and as obviously I've took the last 6 years to do it, so
Yeah.
I've come across balls that maybe shouldn't have been there.
Yes, yeah,
maybe that they weren't there from factory. Someone else had been there before me, but
And it is you're unreeling a puzzle, really, aren't you? Of all
Yeah.
mechanics that have come before, and like they've done fixed things a certain way that maybe wasn't by the book, and
Yeah,
now
like-
you're trying to unravel that twine. I
yeah,
suppose, isn't it?
because I actually went through when I first got this car. Like I was only young, I didn't know what engine should be in it.
Yeah.
And it ended up that it was an earlier engine with a carburetor on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I wouldn't have known this.
And
Only
even-
for people on Facebook
Yeah.
pages.
And to
that-
get work on carburetors nowadays is tough too, because everything's got injection, isn't it?
It's no one wants to deal with it. You're gonna have to go to the old boys, like the lads that know their Beetles and their Minis, and
I've actually I seen a guy and he had a screwdriver to his ear and he was listening so that he could try and hear it so he could balance cars. But it worked. You know what I mean? That it worked, it doesn't make any difference.
There's ways of doing it, like, and there's like it's the same with V8s or whatever. Like if you grew up doing that, you're going to know.
No, exactly.
And I'd imagine when I'm 45 or 50 and everything's electric, and I'll be able to tell my kids that, oh, I know how
You're
to
the
tune
petrol
a
guru.
carburetor, like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
back in
yeah.
the day, you know,
Yeah.
you have to take the dizzy cap off to clean off the points, you know.
Yeah.
They don't know what a fucking phone is.
No,
They
no.
don't know what, like.
Yeah, for sure, for
Man.
sure. So Barry, look, we were talking about the car there, and I have to say it's an absolute credit to you. I'm obviously going to run around and get a few sexy shots of the car as well, right? What I'd like to say is thank you very much for showing me the car. It's absolutely fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to add into the vlog?
Not a whole lot. Like, it's just, I wish I could have it cleaner. Basically, it's
Don't worry, guys. Right, I'm after catching Barry on the hop here. Right, so I was just basically like, "Are you around? You're in Wexford. You're going on the vlog."
yeah, basically that's.
So-
yeah, you pull it together and you go.
Yeah. But it is, Barry, look, it's absolutely fantastic, and thanks very much. So guys, from me anyway, I'm Dunners_DVD there, and Barry, what's your Instagram?
Build a banger workshop.
So his tag will be up there now somewhere as well. I'd like to say, Barry, look, thanks very much for showing us the car there today. It's a fantastic car. I'm looking forward to seeing it at Dumpshed. I'm looking forward, hopefully you'll be down at DV on the TV
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
as well. And from us anyway at DV Dailies, I'd like to say thank you for everyone who's watching the vlogs, right? It's going better and better as we go along. And if you want to get in contact and ask questions with the car, I know you gentlemen here, ask questions, right? The same, guys, don't be afraid to leave a comment down in the section down below there and let us know, like we just filmed this vlog a little bit different than we've done some of the rest of them. Let us know if it worked or if it didn't work. But from all of us at DV Dailies, thanks very much for watching. Be sure to head over to our social medias on Facebook and Instagram. Head over to dvdailies.com, see some of our sponsors, see some of the events that are coming up, and head over to the shop where we've got snoods, headscarves, we've got t-shirts, hoodies, we've got sun strips, you name it, we have it. And thanks very much for watching.